It's your cataracts.
We're on.
It's your cataracts.
I got them taken off.
Okay. Let's try this again. I'd like to welcome everybody to the October Park Board meeting for October 20th, 2025. We don't have a formal agenda. We're going to go around. I think we have to mop up a few things, approve a few minutes from prior meetings. Then I'd like for everybody to introduce themselves. We're forming this park board. One, thank you. And two, we're in this together. And I think there'll be a little bit of a learning curve, as I think Deb gave you a novel to go with it. And a lot of it, our attorney is on her way. I stay away from IC codes. I'm not an attorney, so I stay away from that. But we have a few minutes to adopt. Kenny, do you have a copy of those?
Yes, I do. I'd go ahead and make the motion to go ahead and approve the minutes for the June 2nd, 2025 Park Board meeting.
Second. Ooh, wow.
Any discussion on the June 2nd meeting minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
There's more than one set.
We'll sign it then.
Deb, is there only the June 2nd? I was thinking you said there was two sets of minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
Need your signature.
At this time, I'm going to make sure everybody knows who everybody is. I think most of us do, but I'm a commissioner. My name's Brian Collier.
Don Adams.
And then I'm going to ask the new members of maybe introduce yourself, even though I should know who all of you are. Whatever you would like to do. But this is a public meeting, so once it goes in, like 100 years from now, I love it. If you'll ever notice, like I always say something goofy, and like, why? And I go, well, 100 years from now, they'll think that guy was really goofy, just like they do now. I don't care.
Bethany Latham, pleased to be part of the new park board. Hello, I'm Trisha Runnigan. I'm here with the health department as well, and very excited.
I'm Jason Whitlow. I'm not associated with the county in any other way other than I live here, so I'm excited to be here.
Darrell French. I'm with the Morgan County History Museum, and I'm the tinsmith down at Waverly Park.
Hi, Becky McKinney, also a Martinsville resident for some time. Pleased to serve.
Well, I'd like to personally welcome you onto the forming of this new board. I'd give you a little bit of history. We had one years and years and years ago, and I think I can't speak, I won't speak. I've learned in the world of politics not to speak for fellow politicians or elected officials, depending on what kind of mood they're in. But we believe in our park system. But we also know here in Morgan County that we really lack funding. I believe Kenny was on when we started funding on the council. Ooh, good.
Yeah.
2005 maybe?
2004 or 5-1, yes.
Yeah, and I think the first year we had 10,000, 5 or 10,000. It was next to nothing.
Yeah.
And why that has grown, it still is relatively a very, very small figure when you compare it to what I call competition, Johnson County, Hendricks County. But those counties have much higher net asset value to tax, to collect. It doesn't mean that we don't appreciate our parks or believe in them, because years and years ago, Ball State did a study, and there's been a paradigm shift from the previous generation where people now move, the younger generations move to where there are amenities such as your parks and quality of life, and then they find a job. where my grandparents lived in this area because Uniroyal was hiring at the factory and RCA was hiring grandma down at Bloomington. So the factories were here, so they stayed here in the middle and split the drive. And so through this paradigm shift, we know that we have to have a good park system. But we also know that we don't have an overabundance of funds. So over the years, Valita and Kenny have put a lot of hours and sweat equity into the park system. And we have normally yielded to those two on just, they're the ones that have been running it. And I've just personally looked at Kenny and go, what do you need? Because I know he needs $1 million, but so's the health department, so's the jail, so's this, and we just don't have it. So the importance is to offer a quality product and with, unfortunately, low funds. And so, but I think we've been able to do that, bringing you back on. It'll have more ideas, hopefully bring some enthusiasm on as the three of us carry the weight of a lot of other things going in. Our county is growing. Our county is changing. No matter how much you don't want it to, it's going to. Those adages is either you're growing or you're dying. Well, I think that's true. And for the longest time, the county has been reluctant. We're the last of the donut counties around Marion County to expand. But now things, price-wise on land, acreage, whatnot, is so much cheaper than your Boone County, Hamilton County, all those. People can come down here and buy 100 acres for what they're buying 2 or 3 up north. So people are coming here. But when they come here, they have the expectations of having nicer things. And that's what we're being challenged with. And even though I look at this as forming under the board and passing a lot of the park response, we're in here to help you. So don't ever be afraid to ask. And at that, I'll kick it over to the wisdom of these two.
I won't say wisdom, but I congratulate you on your opportunity to do something really favorable for the county that's already started. You're jumping into, I guess you'd say a good boat that's gonna get bigger and bigger because of the need and because of the demand. Give you an example real quick. Talking about parks and money, Greenwood, the mayor of Greenwood's kind of I won't say a close friend, but we know each other. I asked Mark the other day about how big's your park budget? Well, he floored me. He said it's $7 million. I said, for parks? Yeah. That's the same, they got the same population we do. Of course, the structure's different. Don't count on getting a $7 million budget. It ain't gonna happen. Well,
Probably
it
not
could
700,000
eventually. I
either.
I can see that the growth that Commissioner Collier's talking about. We're gonna see some major things going on. But what we have now is pretty darn good. But it's got an option and an opportunity to grow and be better and provide what people come to places for. Like Brian said, people pick places because of the amenities. And I appreciate that. And I'm glad you're going to be a part of it because I think you've got we know you have the desire. And there's going to be challenges. I never thought there'd be so many challenges as you run across in public service anymore. People kind of wacko. They really are. It's just part of the game that's being played these days. But
Sometimes I find my fellow commissioners challenging.
do what?
I said, sometimes I find the fellow commissioners challenging.
Oh, never. It's an interesting time we live in, that's for sure. But I've enjoyed the parks like you have. In fact, I was planning on going out there and riding my bike today, but I had other things come in there, and this meeting being one of them. I'd be up there right now. Some of you know I'd like to ride my bike up there. And that's a Waverly. I don't get down to Burkhart that whole much, and there's other opportunities for growth in other places. And I am so proud of what they have done and the work that goes on and the public response to it that happens. I couldn't thank Valita and Kenny for the people that volunteer from our community hotel to come up and help us. It's a darn good thing, and it's fun to be a part of a darn good thing. And I think the county's a darn good thing. I think we're seeing things in that. But the one that's most obvious, and I've had people, in fact, I have to tell you, I fell off my bike there because of it. I was out riding my bike on Waverly, on the trail, and some lady was, I was trying to avoid hitting her dog. And so I was kind of on my bike, but not. And she wanted to start, she was complimentary about the park, and then she found out I was kind of a part of the picture. And she just kept going on how we could do, and she lived in Johnson County, by the way, which was interesting, but she said, I'd like to find a way to contribute to the park here. Wow, that's something you could have friends of the park, like we have friends of the library. You don't know who's gonna show up and decide, hey, yeah, I like this stuff. So there's opportunities for all kinds of growth, but there's also challenges on maintaining the good that we have. And I can commend you on wanting to jump in the pot, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And it's gonna have its challenges. There are people gonna tell you what you ought to do with that weed and that weed, and did you realize that if you ate that, you'd die? And I thought, well, yeah, why would you eat it? You know, there is certain weeds that you don't want to have it, but they're everywhere. Just because they be in your park, they might be in your yard. That's the kind of stuff you get. I guess you'd say the distrust that people have that you're in their interest. I think they're in charge of that we're going to do something bad.
Now, did Mr. Adams tell you that he makes his own elderberry wine, or that he just fell off the bicycle? I miss. Kenny,
I
you have
hadn't been
anything
in
to
the
add?
wine at that time.
Yeah,
The bike slipped.
yeah. Kenny?
You're gonna find out that I dream a little bit. I have our next 28 parks already bought and in the county's name. A lot of them are being farmed right now. But hopefully we will develop a few more of them. We are waiting on Willowbrook for a reuse permit from FEMA to be blessed and Homeland Security. That would be our newest one that we're getting ready to hopefully get started on here really soon in the springtime. But we have put the request in. It's been, Valita had to help me, and I'd had to go back and look at the date on the letters. And it's been probably a year now almost. But they have asked for additional information, which that's a good sign, because I mean, if they're asking for additional information, that's a good sign they're leaning towards it. It is a reuse permit, what it's called to FEMA. We have got 15 of 17, and if you count Egbert Road Bridge being approved, we've actually got 16 of 18 approved out of Region 5. They've only approved 23 total in all of the states in Region 5. So, but I love to dig and think about parks and how we can do things and what use we can use them for. Some of them's got a lot of deed restrictions on them just because I've either got CDBG deed restrictions on them or I've got FEMA deed restrictions on them. But there's always ways around them. You
That's
just
why
gotta
we
work
can't
with
grow
them.
certain weed
But yeah. as
like you
long
can
as-
in some of your yards.
But as long as we're working with them, it's all about building a
Two
relationship.
of you have to at least be Democrats and think, liberal enough to appreciate some sense of my humor.
Overlook Mr. Collier at times, he gets a little carried away, but yeah,
This
it's,
is my first cup of coffee. Yes, they're the ones that, I just got back from Chicago, you know, and I was in downtown Chicago with my daughter, and I looked at Molly, and she's my baby, and I go, does everybody smoke weed here? And she goes, Dad, it's legal. And I'm just like, that's my wife, school teacher, bless her. How do you know there's, I go, can you not smell that? She goes, how do you know what weed smells like? And I go, I go into all these houses on the fire department, and then the skunk smell came in. I said, that's bad weed there. And she goes, and you know what bad weed is? I said, you're trained in that. So no, we won't be growing weed. You don't put that in the paper.
I was gonna say, are we still in a public meeting?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Well, if you want to go to weed, go to Chicago. Buddy, I'd pass it in a heartbeat, get the tax collection.
Let me take the privilege and introduce Ann Calgar. She's actually our county attorney. She'll be helping guide you through this process as well. But I just want to give you an update on where we're at. We do have several parks already. You got Burkhart Creek was our first park down there, Duckworth Road in Northern. Our second park was Old Town Waverly Park. Our third park is Wilbur Community School. It's up in 6025 Wilbur Road is the address on that little park. It's an old one-room schoolhouse. It was redone, added on to, I'm wanting to say 40s or 50s, Valita, 50s. But it's a nice little addition. It's on the National Registry, so we got to be really careful on what we do there whenever we're doing work. But we dropped probably close to about $350,000 in that, doing all the tuck pointing, the new roof, everything that's been done to that since we've had it. So, I mean, it's in really good shape now. Still
But the
has
problem
some
that we
needs.
run into there is that they want to rent it, which is awesome, but then they want, everybody has 2 cars instead of everybody coming in 10 cars, 50 people come in 100 cars, and there's not parking.
Yeah, and that is a problem.
I'm throwing some of the things that I've ran into because I have no clue how to run a park. That's not my bailiwick, and
But we are in the process of going ahead and getting new air conditioning for the first time in the school and a new furnace. Last year, we probably was up there messing with that furnace at least 7, 10 times, I know. And I hate to get out of bed early on a Saturday morning when I'm thinking I'll get to sleep in and go mess with the furnace. But that's the parts that we have right now. We do have a Landersdale Trail, basically starting right there at the football field, soccer fields for Mooresville School on Landersdale, and it goes east about 1.5 miles, if I remember right, 2 miles at the most. So, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. As far as the trails go, we do have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 9.5, 10 miles of trails completed. I do have KML maps, some PDF maps of about 27 to 30, hoping we was gonna get the new trail plan approved this year, and that kind of got a wrench stowed into it, that's all I'm gonna say right now. But we're gonna keep working, trying to get them connectivities done with the other communities, other counties, because they would all like to hook to us as well, so.
so now we're back to the formation of your board. The reason why we're meeting here, we're in a pass that you be the board. And if you want to go in, they're staggered so that you don't come on all at once normally, but you will. And what I really anticipate, because like 1 or 2 of them will be done in a year, right?
I have to go back and look at the.
Yeah.
But and I don't really know which one they have to decide amongst themselves.
I wondered, yeah, that list that I have here has.
What I was hoping to do is reappoint you. So,
How was that?
Daryl, you're not going to get off in like 3 months and say, I was on the first park board, but I only had to do 3 months. I got out of it. I'm not going to let you off the hook that easily.
Pass that to Ann. I already gave it to her, but that's mine now.
We really haven't, no, I'd do it now. I'd say we kick off now. And the reason being is October's not and this is just you're gonna be the board, and this is our first meeting, so you can argue with me all you want, but I can get things done in October. When I start getting in closer between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I mean, I was given this yesterday. This is just my family events over the next 3 months. I was like, really, Audrey? I'm where I'm supposed to be. So, I mean, if I get nervous at the first of the year, getting a lot thrown on our plate. I don't have a problem with that. You don't see that being a problem, do you, Ann, with if we started here in October and everything stopped, because they've all accepted. And I got security still here, so I'm not gonna let them leave.
So let them go through the end of 20, let the first term go through the end of 26?
I think that would be the way to do it. If you're the person with 1 year, you'd be done October of 26.
I think that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Well, unless you guys revolt and say, no, we're going to do it on a calendar year, and you're not really trying to get off already, are you? I mean, come on. It's not that bad. I want to add something on the trails and the things. What excited me is I'm on the fire department, Martinsville Fire Department, and not everybody that kayaks or canoes down the White River knows what they're doing. And so we get called on the Swift Water team and we usually launch at Henderson Ford. And it's been a while, but as we were taking our boat up, I was passing people left and right. And I'm like, where are all these people? I mean, not like one or two, not like 10 or like 50, 60 kayaks between Henderson Ford and Waverly, just tons of them. And the person that needed us, really did need us, they missed the bend in the river, and then they got into what they call a snag, and they got thrown up on it. They were fortunate, they got thrown up on it, not under it, or it'd been a recovery, not a rescue. But I was just shocked, and I was asking when things calmed down, I yelled, where are you from? North side, east side. I mean, so to me, this is what makes this so important, is it's a golden opportunity to showcase our county, because that's a hidden diamond in the rough right now, and as more and more people start using it, it'll put more stress on us to make sure that the ramp and the facilities and that people will want to come. Being from here, you go off to college and you're from where? Oh, wow. So a lot of times I feel like we only get one shot at impressing somebody from outside the county to come back, to want to come here. And that's what excites me about this opportunity.
And you got the Carmel Club that comes down, Canoe Kayaking Club. You also have the Hamilton County one that comes down as well, because I've met with both groups down here. And they really appreciate being able to start there at Waverly and go all the way down to Perrigan. So it's a challenge for them. So with the Lowhead Dam out of the river now, it is safe. Before they had to forage around it, and that didn't work out too well. So I mean, now with that dam removed, we've got a lot more traffic as far as canoe and kayaking on the river.
So I'm proud to say on the record that we did take care of one of your damn problems.
That's what I thought was coming. So, Mr. French, and I know Ms. Frenningen. Mr. French, okay. So the two of you are the appointees of the commissioners, and one of you will be on a 2-year term, and one of you will be on a 4-year term. And then we have Ms. McKinney and Mr. Whitlow. And same with you. One of you is on a 2-year term, another is on a 4-year term. And then we have Ms. Latham. There's Ms. Latham. So you are on a 1-year term. As Mr. Collier said, you're all eligible to be reappointed and go forward from there. So that will be something you all will have to figure out.
Do you guys have a problem if we move? I yield a lot to people that are a lot smarter than me, and they're afraid because we appoint everybody in January. Would you have a problem if, like, the first term went 13 months or 27 months or 39 months? Add the October, November, December, and then January.
It'd be cleaner.
That's what they're
Be a
telling
lot
me.
cleaner.
They're afraid that it'll fall through, and then everybody would blame me. So I'm gonna fix that before I get blamed, if you're okay with it.
I think you have to take care of statutory.
I get it. I understand. It doesn't, it doesn't talk about when they're actually
Well, it
appointed.
doesn't tell you. It
So-
just says a year.
Those are on the terms.
Year is a year, but at the same time, I don't think anybody's gonna get really hung up on that extra
Watch,
couple
the
of months.
Gregorian calendar was 13 months, but it didn't fall in line with the king at the time, so he got rid of 2 of the months. And if you look back,
Right. What about,
yeah.
yeah, I'd like to just make it so that every appointment, the January 1st would be the appointment dates.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I mean, are they gonna have to take any official
So
action
the,
between now
the
and
first
January
one would be
1?
13, or, actually 14 months.
Do you anticipate that they're gonna have to take any official action between now and January 1?
I was hoping.
Oh, yeah.
I was ready to pass the torch, and unless that becomes a statutory issue.
I mean, it does say 1 year and 2 years. I mean, that's what it says. So,
So next year we can say, oops, we forgot that in October.
If we're all on the same page, we can stay in this.
Well, I think there's other things more important, but I think the main thing right now is to, let you have an idea of what you have on your plate, things that you're going to have to make decisions about that are just functionary or pro-functionary, what you're going to do and when you're going to do it and how you go and do it. And then who's going to be in charge and who's going to take notes, or who's going to be a secretary. You need a president and a secretary, of course.
President, vice secretary. Usually. President, vice secretary.
Yeah, President,
Chair,
vice secretary.
vice
And
chair,
I think there's the 3 officers that, and I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm going to suggest, frankly, that you, in my opinion, and this is an opinion, and you don't have to pay attention to it. One of the things that I like to see on any board, and we do it here on this board, is rotation of responsibilities. We change president every year here in this board. And we don't have to worry about a secretary because we've got a permanent one. But, and that's wonderful. But I've been on a lot of boards. And I found that the boards that work the best, and there's probably exceptions, are the ones where there's shared responsibility and you don't find, I guess you'd say, I'm not trying to parrot the latest movement in Washington, but I don't want to know, I want no kings. I want people to be able to, this year, we're going to do it, this year, we're going to do it like next. That's just my suggestion. You don't have to do it that way. But the boards that work the best are the ones that pass responsibility around and don't make somebody the king. I'm sorry? Yeah, have a reorganization every year like we do. And I'm not, I'm just saying what works for us probably has been, it's worked better for every board I've ever been on. I was on a board one time, first board I was ever on, and I'm not going to mention names at all, but it was Soil and Water Conservation Board. And that's where I met Norm Boyles, by the way. And I was asked to be on the board. Yeah, all right, I'll be on the board. When it came time for election of officers, he made a motion, the president did, that we do away with that. And he was the president again and again and again and again. And had the same thing happen on, interestingly enough, another board that I'm not just making this up, but I was on the board for the Senior Citizen Center in Mooresville. And it was the same officers all year round. And so that doesn't work real well. I don't know why people want to do that.
I've always found on boards, if you can find a board member that has like compulsive OCD, put them in charge, because a lot of it gets done for you.
I don't think it gets done, but that's just, but anyway.
What else do we
so when
need to
you
cover, Ann?
organize, that's what I recommend as far as
Ann?
myself.
What else do we need to cover?
Well,
Because they just really need to talk amongst themselves.
they do indeed. I know you got kind of a daunting packet of legislation, the statute that governs, or I assume you did, because
Yes.
Commissioner Collier referenced it in a derogatory way when I walked in.
Yeah, you've got it.
I said I wasn't an attorney.
And so, and for example, section 11.5, legalization of operation of City of New Albany property by a nonprofit corporation without a lease before July 1, 1995 is probably irrelevant to you. I would encourage you, for example, to look at section 10, so that would be 3610.310, which is the duties. 3610.311, which is the powers. Those are going to be key for you. I just lost the section I was looking at that was talking about having a quorum at meetings. I've lost that one. I can give it to you. But as Ms. Runnigan will tell you, she has my cell phone number, so if anybody needs to get a hold of me because you have specific questions rather than me trying to guess what questions you might have in the future, I am reachable a lot. And if I'm not reachable immediately, I can usually send you a message that says, I'm not reachable right now, but I will get back with you as soon as I can. So I would look at the powers and duties first and foremost, just to understand what you are responsible for and what you're able to do.
And I would like to just kind of open it up a little bit for questions you have for us about anything. Because you've never been on a park board before, I don't imagine. Yes? Can we get copies of minutes from prior meetings? Yeah. I don't know how far back to tell you to go, but it might just. That's a good idea. Good idea of what's been being talked about. Right.
Can you also get them a copy of the budget? Because in the future, we'll be putting our heads together. One of us will show up around budget time, and, if you want to pave the whole park, which I wouldn't, but no, we don't have that kind of money, but if we're going to do a trick or treat that we've done, or Christmas or something, that we'll have prior year's budgets and what it costs and where we're at, and that'll help us all. So if they'll get the budget.
I think you have to decide really soon, today probably, is how often do you want to meet? And this is the place you meet, I can think. But they don't have to meet here. But you want to make sure the public is notified where you are meeting, because they're public meetings. So you can't,
I'm listening, I don't know.
you can't go out here and, just meet anywhere. You have to, and I don't know about notification. Do they have to get that in the paper for it? 2 weeks?
So all board meetings are to be open to the public. The board shall fix the time and place of its regular meetings, but it shall meet at least quarterly. Special meetings of the board may be called by a president or by any two members by written request to the secretary. At the first regular meeting each year, the board shall elect a president and vice president, as you were suggesting. They should maybe rotate that. A majority of the members constitutes a quorum. This is all in section 8. And in terms of what you were asking me, Commissioner Hale, about whether the meetings have to be recorded, I don't think meetings have to be recorded. I don't.
If they are in this room, they have to be recorded.
if they're in this room. Is that, then that's under an ordinance.
State code. It's that new state code.
That's Big Brother.
But my point is, if they meet elsewhere, then they don't, but they still need to notice the meeting, it needs to be a public meeting.
They could meet like at the Wilbur School and they wouldn't have to record.
Right. Not that we're encouraging you not to record
Or
it,
the
that's not the
bank.
point, but if there was a reason,
Yes,
yeah, it's on a YouTube.
correct, but
It's
That
on a
camera up
YouTube
there.
right now.
that's why I sit on, this is my better side.
That's why he's always looking like this towards me.
Yeah, yes. I encourage you to have fun, I do with it, because it's sometimes challenging on what people think you should do, and they're usually the ones that aren't helping or not paying, but you know that, you're all adults.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the statute calls for 1-year appointments, 2-year appointments, 3-year appointments. It's meant to be staggered so that you don't have a whole new board and everybody potentially going off. That's why. But Commissioner Adams raised the point of like, we should be following the statute. I don't think there's a huge harm in these, a few months of gear up before your first. It's just really to keep, if we're gonna do the staggering should be staggered as of October 1 or January 1. I don't think anyone's gonna care that this park board has been around for 3 extra months. Agreed, and that's why I was asking if there's gonna need to be official action. What I understood over, kind of overwhelmingly is up here was, please, let's have official action as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, as soon as, that's probably all our boards. We make all the appointments in January, first of January, we start making the appointments for a lot of boards that are out there that you've never heard of.
And we make some in the last part of December too.
Yeah, we make
I
them
mean,
then,
December, January is when we try to get all of our appointments done that we have to do.
so,
But more specifically, it's not like they are looking to have people do one and done. They want the continuity. They want to
and
have,
usually what we end up doing is if the person's active in it and likes to stay there, unless there's a problem, they just get reappointed. That's kind of the pattern that we've taken, and that's been going on for years. And, that's good and bad.
I didn't.
The chair usually does always call and make sure you want to be reappointed, Def.
Right. And
And
a lot of
there's
that's
no
determined by
limit.
attendance at the meetings.
there are no term limits.
Well, there could be, but that's usually when there's a change of guard up here and your term's up and you back me and we're buddies and you want on the park board and I'll sit there and say, well, Daryl's term's up, I'll appoint you. Thanks for your years of service, Daryl. You're out.
It has politics involved, unfortunately.
There's nothing saying that they couldn't do it, though.
There's basis, this removal is, so, sorry, Commissioner Hale and I are having a discussion offline here, and he was saying that you all could set term limits, but I'm not certain that that could happen, Kenny, because I think that it comes down to who does the commissioners, who are the 2 appointments the commissioners want to make, and then who are the
Yes.
2 appointments. So,
Yeah.
so it still stays in the control of, and I don't think that the
Council,
board, the
commissioners,
park board itself could out somebody through term limits, but, and somehow prevent
No, I agree with that.
by the appointing body.
Yep.
This is an informal request, but I would like to know when you meet, because just simply to show up once in a while. And, because I'm interested in parks. And it's not to control, that's not what we're doing. I just want to know what's going on. And, I'll find out what's going on, but I might be helpful, And all of us can be, you know, we've been kind of carrying this ball around for a couple of years, and we want to make sure that.
Right. I don't feel like being the way things were at, I don't feel like I did the parks justice as a commissioner on our park board. I need people that comes to us and say, if you really want to have a good park, I was up at this park and they had this, we need to work towards that. The park board has a consensus that we want to do this, not, we've been very reactive. Kenny, we're really blessed with Felita and Kenny because they are so active. And I don't want to speak for Don, but I'm kind of reactive, like, so what's going on? What are we doing? You know? When I'm coming out of Indianapolis, the porta potties there in Waverly, I always check them. They're halfway home, make sure they're clean, because you're gonna get complaints on that. Coffee goes right through me.
It's gonna be fun.
But to answer your question on the same people for 20 years, 2 of you are appointed by council, 2 are by commissioners, and 1 we picked to get this going, the assessor. And we picked the assessor because of her love for the parks, and she's done some things with the parks. And we wanted to be proactive and get this going on the right foot. So, you know, in the future, you get 4 different council members, and they could have friends, or they could change things up as your term limits come to the forefront. But you all know it is hard to get people to volunteer for any board or anything, so.
I just want to thank all of you for being willing to step up and do it, though. I really appreciate you.
I am too.
Go ahead, yes.
Moving forward, how will we receive information that comes in from the public, whether that be compliments or wants or complaints or such like that? So I would assume it all goes to you guys right now, maybe no?
Well, I think there's 2 ways, and there's probably more. I'm just thinking 2 ways of adding that. First of all, as much as possible, include the correspondent, because that gets out to the public. And then you'll be a part, your minutes and everything can be and should be on our webpage, and everybody can kind of see what you're up to and what you've decided. Yes.
The webpages, the park has their own webpage, it's not.
They have one now?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not part of the county, it's a separate.
It should be a part of the county.
Well, it's .org, and I can't put the minutes on there, so the minutes are not on there.
Well, we need to look at that, because I think you know, they are a part of the county. And I think it should be on the county website.
It's there, but it's an outside website that you can get to it from our page, but it's an outside website.
Well, I understand that. I just want to make sure that it's publicized on our website.
Yeah. But I can't.
And who does that? Who makes our webpage for the
Hang on.
Kind of what she was getting at is more, if somebody has a complaint about the park, for example, I was at Burkhart today, just because I hadn't been out there, and I figured I'd go visit before today. And the swing there there's a parking area with the bathrooms and stuff, the swing there needs work. There's some problems with it. There's some cracks around the edges of it, some pinch points for kids, that kind of thing. That it's probably an easy issue. What if a parent or somebody was with their child there and had an issue with that, they're gonna report that to the county, I would hope. How do we get that information, or where does that information go?
But I direct them to Lolita's cell phone because she is the director right now. But the commissioner's office phone number is out there connected with the parks. So we do get some phone calls and things, but I direct them to Lolita.
How many complaints do you actually get?
One or two maybe when the trails have had issues. Bathrooms, but not too many. It's more compliments more than anything. Do the parks have an email address?
And as far as, were you talking about Burkhart Creek, this way? Because I brought that to our people 6 months ago. And we go to the parks a lot, so most of the time we
Okay.
But I was just bringing up to kind of use her example of where the information goes.
You know, the other thing that's kind of interesting, and I don't think we've taken advantage of it, is that you're not the only park board in the county. You know, my wife's on the Mooresville Park Board. There's a Martinsville Park Board. Monrovia just has a new park. That's I imagine is run by their, due to their size, is probably run by the board. They might have a park board for them, but it's relatively new. Bottom line is, though, that there's other park boards. And a lot of times, in fact, I've seen my wife's, I don't always read her mail, but I've seen some of the stuff, and there's kind of associations of park boards. You know, we all work together, we've got the same kind of stuff going on. Let's, you know, they have meetings and associations, and you go beyond that and get ideas on how to make things more public, I guess you'd say, improved.
I opened up my wife's mail once, and since this is a public meeting, I won't tell you a thumping I got.
It's called Burkhart's Creek. That's where the office is right now. That's where all the files are at right now, Daryl. You do have a hotspot up there because we don't have internet up there, hardwire. There is a chance of getting PDS, or not PDS, but fiber up there because REMC and Clay County Rural Telephone both, what is it called now? It's not Clay County Telephone, it's Endeavor. Endeavor both has fiber going right in front of it now. But right now, we have hotspots there and also in Waverly. So you got two hotspots. Most of the time, if you're having problems with Waverly, you need to be right around the bank or inside the bank. Yep.
Well,
Right
They're
now,
they're gonna need like a
you
laptop or
you
something.
can do whatever you want as far as location-wise. I mean, you could meet here, you can meet at Waverly Bank, you can meet at Wilbur School. I mean, it's kind of your guys' call there on where you would like to meet at. As far as, we could probably talk to Mr. Joe and get a laptop for them. That way you got your own laptop for the secretary. Because I don't think the old park board had their own laptop, did they, Valita, that I can ever remember? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. But we could work on that and get you guys a laptop. That's not a problem. Right now, you don't. And what we do, all the claims go through the auditor's office. So if it's being paid as a utility, not necessarily a utility, but as long as two commissioners sign off on that, not including me on the parks. Anything else, two of us can sign off, and then the auditor will use that as a utility and let it go through. Otherwise, it's gonna be the regular claim process, so you just do the claim, submit it to the auditor's office by the middle of the month, usually the second Wednesday of the month, usually the deadline. As long as you get it in by the 15th, Daryl, usually it's gonna get paid out that next month. So that's the way it works. We don't have a checkbook for the park. We do have credit cards, one for Lowe's, and then the auditor has 3 credit cards that can be checked out, but I don't know if that's gonna work also still for the park board. I'm assuming it will, but,
That would still just be the park director?
okay, I would think so. Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna be guiding, dreaming. I'd start with, but I mean, that's, the old park board, they would get bids or stuff and stuff because they didn't have a director for a lot of years. I mean, they didn't really get one until 19, well, 18. When was that first one hired, Valita? Greg? Yeah, Greg. So that, I'm thinking it was like late 17, early 18 before they had a park director.
But we're not, and I don't think we should be, like, telling the director what to do, because she knows more than we do about this. How's this gonna work? How's the chain of command or authority?
Let's bring in HR on explaining.
I guess I'll use this.
Introduce
The
yourself,
reason I
Greg.
came today is to offer my assistance with, you will have employees that are, currently we have an assistant parks director, which is Valida. She is a part-time employee. And then we have some maintenance equipment operators that are part-time. We do not currently have a parks director. However, it was budgeted for this year. So one of your first jobs will probably be to advertise for the parks director. I can get your emails from Deb and I can send you the job description. I'm the one that would post it. And then depending on who you guys wanted to have access to those resumes, I would give you access to those resumes. Up until this point, Valida and Kenny have been handling any hiring, firing, discipline that has needed to happen. But I'm very willing to help with the employees. I would not really be, I'll be happy to assist you guys too, but when I tell you something, it would just be a suggestion. It would not be a, you need to do this. But the parks director is hired by the board. So that would be one of the first get in place for the coming year.
And so, Daryl, to answer, not to interrupt, but to interrupt, to answer your question, the board would give guidance to what they want the director to do. I will give you what little I know about. The problem comes in is when Daryl has a different direction for the director than Tricia, who has a different one than Becky, who has a different one from Jason, who has a different one from Bethany. And then that director feels like they're being pulled in 5 different directions. So sitting up here, I can't stress enough that the board should come up with unity in the direction that they want the director to go. We are a somewhat checks and balances, but yet you're technically over the director. And then realize that that director will be a county employee, therefore the board will have to follow the county handbook. You can't make up your own employment rules outside of the county and I've seen that happen before they got way off track. So to answer your question, you will be directing, this board will be directing the director. You'll be hiring them, you'll be interviewing, you'll hire them, and then as a board, you'd say, we would like to see, rainbows and bunnies. And as long as all 5 of you want to go, until the phone starts ringing off the hook back on our end, and we show up and go, what? Hey, thank you for phone. What are you thinking? Rainbows and bunnies. And then educate us. And again, I look, we're an extension of the board, but we're not the board.
Right now, Daryl, we've been acting as a park director, all 3 of us commissioners, since 19, whenever the past one got let go. So, I mean, that's how we've been functioning. Valida's been our assistant. I mean, me and Valida's worked together for years and years, and it's worked out really good. And we've been to multiple members of the park board whenever there was changes in the park board membership and stuff over the years. But I mean, it's I'm excited. It needs to be this way.
But this is, I believe this to be true as far as legality and the arm's length. I mean, we can voice, once you're formed, we can voice our opinions on where the direction of the park board, but then, like I said, I like to think that we work as a team, not in conflict. And with that, you guys will be leading the Morgan County Park System.
I'm sorry,
And I'm, for one, not going to do that to you. You take your time, get a feel for this, get caught up on speed, you know. I just know this needs to be done for the continuation of our park system to grow and grow in the right direction. And quite honestly, with us in the room, and I don't care this, why there will always be politics involved, there's politics involved in everything, there needs to be an arm's length of the politics from the park board. It doesn't need to be governed by 3 commissioners, in my personal opinion. We can jump up, scream, and appoint 2 of you, but I still, if I appoint these 2, you 3 can still trump us. And that's checks and balances. And I don't have a problem with some of the politics getting out of the park system.
Any other questions for us? Any concerns you're seeing? I can tell Daryl's thinking hard. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Basically, Brian said it earlier, you guys need to be looking at who you would like to be the chair, who'd be the vice chair, and the secretary. I mean, that's.
If you want to meet
what we've
here
had.
next, if you want to meet up at the bank, at the Waverly, or wherever, if you want to meet at Burkhardt, if you want to meet at Wilbur, what you guys want to do.
But Deb can help you with notices and requirements for notices. This gentleman right here is gonna want you not to meet in a back alley, not to have the 3 of you together in a room making decisions that aren't made in a public meeting. He'll keep you honest.
Dree is a good resource for hiring, firing. I mean, she's a great HR and she'll work with you.
Though I will tell you, sometimes she does not appreciate certain humor. Namely mine.
And she's really alone in that.
Yeah. Everybody else. Thank you, Ann. Is tonight contract renewals for attorneys?
Speaking of which, we don't have one for Ann for 2025.
That's
I would
intentional.
just say one, and I feel this right, I feel right now, I feel excited about the possibilities of what you have on your plate. I can see, I'm excited about this county, for one thing. I see where we've made some changes that are still being made, that's just amazing. But the park is probably the one that's gonna be really, really visible on changes that are gonna be beneficial to the county and the surrounding counties, really. Things that you can do, I can, you know, I'm gonna be probably 4 more years or 3 more years in this job, but when I get done, I wanna be, I'll probably be a thorn in the side of the park, because I'm gonna be saying, let's do this, let's do that. Because, and you don't have to do it, because I won't have any power at all. Which would be in 3 years, I'm just a local citizen. And you're gonna run across the people out there that are gonna be like that already, that are gonna tell you what to do, and you say, yeah, that's great, but we can't afford it, or.
Or in the spring when the river's up and our trail gets flooded and they call you the first day that doesn't have 3 feet of water on the trail and go, hey, there's limbs all over this trail.
Yeah.
Really?
You gotta take the complaints.
Really? Well,
And-
yesterday there was 3 feet of water and a river going through there.
That's the side of it that gets really irritating, is that, you know.
Yeah.
So what do you need from us tonight? Do you have to know what officers run tonight, or do we wait till next November?
That's something
I just
you
want
guys
us to
can
get
talk
together and
about.
make sure that everybody that was asked to be on this board, that we haven't scared you off, that you're still as excited as I am to have a park board.
The upstairs conference room, Daryl.
you know?
Well, and then like with the commissioners, the first Monday of the month, we meet at 9:30. The second, or the third Monday, second meeting's at 6:30 at night. So you guys need to, I got day jobs, I got this, I got that, so I can only meet at nights, or every Wednesday. I mean, that's what you guys need as a board to come up, like, Wednesdays will never work for me, so hopefully everybody can work around every night except Wednesday. That's, when you talk about picking places, times, and, because everybody's schedule's in today's world super busy, and
Is this,
It's on a Monday. Every Monday in here is busy except for the fifth Monday of the month, if the month has a fifth, because you got meetings in here almost on every Monday of the month.
We don't always have a fifth Monday.
No.
how often were we? At least once a month. Mhm. And even there, sometimes there was nothing really to meet about. Especially if the deputy director was like on vacation or something. We had no one to stare at.
And to the extent that you're having recorded meetings on YouTube, just remember that people can't hear those kind of discussions. So everybody just would have to come up to the microphone so that we can be heard. Or someone up here has to repeat what you're saying.
I believe that we can have an executive meeting in order to discuss things, but not make any final decisions without having a,
Certain things.
which is similar to an emergency meeting. You don't have to post public notice. and
no
do all that.
emergencies?
Is that correct?
I mean, emergency meetings where you're gonna make decisions, yes, you have to, like special meetings, yes. Executive meetings, there are certain things that you can discuss in an executive meeting. Not everything can be discussed in an executive meeting. Well, but you can't just have an executive meeting to talk about everything up to a final decision on any topic. The open door law is very specific about what the kinds of things are that you can have an executive session about. So when you notice an executive session, you have to notice the purpose, and the purpose has to be a purpose that's recognized by the statute.
And you probably should let Ann know, because she can be there, and that's necessary.
I can help you when you need it.
Got it. I don't know any executive session by any board that needs to run without, I guess you'd say, advice from council. It wouldn't work. You gotta, they know what you can and can't do. But, you know, I think, and this is kind of odd to say, this isn't a park board meeting right now in a way, is it? Or is it?
It is.
All right, this is a park board meeting, and we're handing it off. Can they, at this time, decide, get together and I guess you
Well, I
said.
wasn't gonna do that to them. I
Well,
figured,
I
I
just
figured
said,
I would
can
cancel
they?
it.
But
We'll
they-
meet
I
again.
didn't
after-
finish.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to.
Well, you're wanting to cancel, yeah.
You know, I think that was what I think they should do, is decide when we want to get together again and start accomplishing some of these small tasks that are large tasks for your next meeting. Does that make sense? I mean, they need to decide.
I'm afraid to say anything now.
No, you say something, you rat.
Lita's got a question here. Go ahead,
Lita?
Lita.
Can you speak up? We just billed Don. But we addressed it to his
the
wife.
auditor's office, I think. I really think that should be, I didn't hear that, I just heard compensation.
Compensation per meeting.
Yeah, I think if you decide that, it's legal from the standpoint of the statutes, but then as soon as you do that, I think I'd go to the auditor's office and say, they need to sign whatever and get all the
Are you, as the commissioners, considering these board members to be county employees?
I don't know, what's the statute say?
No.
It's not
They're
us
not-
that decides.
So they can be paid on a claim? And not
Yes.
through payroll? Yeah, are they gonna be over, will they get a 1099?
Yeah, I think they'd have to. My wife gets it for working on the Mooresville Park Board.
Well, Trish's would be through payroll because she's a county employee. But the others could be a 1099, non-employee compensation. So someone would have to turn in a claim, which would probably be the park director. Because we have some that come through payroll.
As far as not having a line item, we'd be fine because we've funded for a director that's not been paid out the whole year, so we can do
Well, we transferred that money and spent it.
all of it.
Not all of it.
I'm not on the council anymore, so I,
They transferred quite a bit of that money.
We transferred it for the heat and air at Waverly and Delaney House. That's what council wanted, so.
They did what?
transferred it for heating and cooling.
And Wilbur and the Delaney House, like the council wanted.
Delaney House.
And
We
the
transferred the
Wilbur
director's
School.
salary, that we never hired a director. 5 times 75.
375.
Times 12.
Really
Election-
looking at
Election does not,
1125.
not all the election workers get paid through payroll. Some of them are on claims. It depends on what their position is and how much they're gonna make. Yeah, the election, yeah, they get paid through payroll. Planning commission, I think we have planning commission people on payroll. Drainage board,
They wouldn't be on payroll.
yeah, it's,
They'd be-
yeah.
Well, I'm on the
They're
payroll
employees
for the
of the
planning commission.
But I'm already an employee. But if I was just on the drainage board, I don't think I'd be an employee.
Right, because we have had somebody that had to recuse himself from the board, and somebody else came in.
Well, if they have 3 meetings,
We got enough money in there.
$5, we
Yeah.
can cover that.
Yeah, that's not a, I mean, we got that already in. We don't need to transfer. Yeah, we're good. It would come out of the parks budget. I mean, you're looking 1125 for all of them for 3 meetings a year, this year. So, yeah.
So they're getting 75 per meeting, is that what you used to say?
It's more than I got. Deb wasn't putting in my claim. Yeah, didn't say Google did it.
Should they discuss right now about setting up how often they're gonna meet and when?
I think that's what they're doing right now.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
Or talking about us.
We haven't, yeah, we didn't,
It's good, that's one of them, I think that's what they should be doing.
meetings on the third Monday, just as today, and meeting in the Brenda Britton room.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Third Mondays,
Third Monday?
Brenda Britton room.
Well, you guys work fast. Third Monday, what time?
So the only problem with them meeting on third Monday in Brenda Britton is that we have our administrative meetings, to the extent that we have them, on the third Monday in the Brenda Britton room at 5:30.
Yes. Administrative meetings.
Administrative meetings.
for stuff that's not
Yeah.
legislative or decision-making.
That's another choice. That could be the same day, but a different time.
Later in the evening. Later in the evening,
What time do we meet?
5:30.
5:30? They could be before us, really. I'm
Right, they
sorry.
could meet at 6:30 in Brenda Breton. Yeah, that's right. More often than not, you will.
And see, I want to be able to go to the park board meetings.
Oh,
That'd be a commissioner meeting at 6:30.
well, this room would be empty from 4:30 to 5:30 or 4:30 to 6:30.
And you got to record it.
Well, what's wrong with that? You don't want to be recorded?
Well, they could close off the back.
Well, they could meet upstairs, maybe.
I'm gonna get rid of coffee.
At the History Museum? It's so historical over there.
Third Monday, what time? We got
4:30. 4:30
but where?
at the Historical Museum.
Okay. That'll work. I just can't hear what's going on.
Right.
Third Monday at the Historical Museum.
Okay, so Doree, Kathy said if they already work for the county, it will be on payroll, which would be Tricia. If not, it will go on claim. So. We'll have to have them fill out a.
Yeah.
Can you put that in the paper from now on?
Send an email so we can put it in our file.
So we don't have to worry about telling every month?
Yeah, just send us an email that we're gonna meet every month. And if you change it, you're gonna notify us. An email, because then they can, Kimberly can put it in the file, and, we can have it set up. Because we have a lot of meetings set up like that.
I'm gonna get some coffee too, because, are we good?
Becky, anything? Anything else? We're off to a good start. I mean, this will be a huge learning curve. We won't, and it's not like we'll be making executive decisions right out of the first couple months that shackle us forever.
At our next meeting, we'll get to know each other and talk and decide.
Yeah, that's so important to do that, and not only at a meeting, but there's nothing really, now, there is a problem with us if we get together outside and form an announcement without letting people know what's going on. But, I mean, I
That's
love-
why I took pictures when Kenny and Don were sitting next to each other at the theater the other night. And Audrey said, "What are you doing?" I said, Next time they talk about me, I got them in public next to each other.
No, I think that, so getting to know each other is gonna be fun. And you can do it
That's what Audrey said.
around a campfire is even more fun, especially this time of year. But, there's social sides that are fun.
Cinnamon and
And dinners and so forth, I love it. So you get to enjoy each other because you all bring something different to the board.
Do you have any questions of the commissioners?
Good. Good. And your first meeting is
And
gonna be the
hopefully,
third
before you
Monday.
guys get out of here, you'll exchange names, emails. Okay.
You got a
you got-
little,
I'm
you
just
don't
making,
have,
okay.
you got the emails, you
Phone.
don't have phone numbers. Correct? I don't, well, my list doesn't have your phone number. You got it already?
Anything else to come before this park board before we form the other park board to end park boards of the commissioners? Hearing none, I look for an adjournment.
Second.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Officially, unofficial, done.